All right, here is the end of 2021 video of how I have things set up. I'm gonna start front row here. Got my beautiful little lighted cone. This is how we've got the arches set up in my base out of 2x4s with the pecs 1 inch and pixels inside. And then I have my faux pixel sticks, 3/4 inch PVC with through holes drilled, 12 millimeter. Six of them in the 2 cones. Got 2 runs coming back. 1 run was for the arches, 1 run was for the pixel stakes and the cones. Then we've got the little mini not so round trees from EFL here, 4 of them. And I've got 3 of the Boscoyo 2-foot spinners. Those are all being powered and fed out of this guy. It's a Wizards of Wire differential plugged into a 750 watt HP power supply, and I've got outputs for it. So that's doing the 4 mini trees, the 3 spinners, and the entire front row of the yard. From there, from that last medium or mini, we've got a couple of EFL candy canes. We've got the medium NSR trees from EFL. And we've got the big mega tree. I'll come back to it. Notice the star's a little askew. Been windy the last couple of days here. We've got more of the medium NSR trees and 2 more canes. And that kind of completes the yard. On the bottom half of the house, we've got some column matrices. There's 4 of them, and they're 4 pixels wide by 30 something deep. I don't remember how many I have on them. They're about 5.5, 6 feet tall. I had to cut them down. They were 8-foot lengths, and I cut about 2 feet off of them to get up there. Under the eaves are my permanent lights on the eave. The strip that you see up there, that's actually coming down, but the well, it's not Permatrack, it's J channel with pixels in it. That's underneath the eave. That's all gonna stay. And here's my bashed mega tree. Got a star at the top. It's 16 strands. Each strand has 100 pixels on it, 1 inch spacing to the top. To the top of the star, it's about 10 feet tall. The way I've got this base constructed is I've got a piece of white PVC, 3/4 inch with an elbow, and then it's glued into some gray PVC. Inside this piece of white PVC, I actually have a 1/2 inch piece of EMT for strength and rigidity on that piece. Otherwise it was bending pretty well. The way I've got the strips on here is I've got these bungee balls from Harbor Freight through, and it just allows it to attach and ratchet on, kind of tighten down. Inside my strip here, I've also got some of the MISR clips to kind of provide some extra strength to the strip. We got this strip from Your Pixel store. Came at a 50-meter roll. The 16 strands pretty much took up the entire roll. I think I got about 6 or 7 feet left. Overall, it did pretty good. My center pole is 3/4 inch EMT. I've got the Boscoyo 1224 topper and some J-hooks up there. Got the J-hooks from Home Depot. Didn't quite fit in the topper, so I had to remount those holes a little bit. This is not the sturdiest of poles. I've got These are 2 foot deep spiral anchors that are buried into the ground there. And then the steel cables that came with the Boscoyo topper kit, I didn't think were long enough, so MacGyvering here a little bit. I used a paracord, 550 cord, to make it long enough to reach. It's actually turned out pretty good. We had some pretty good wind this year, and it's held in pretty well. Add additional anchors to the base here, just using some Home Depot 12-inch tent stakes. Worked pretty good. I did have another 2 foot anchor out here in front, and I've got it low on the pole because of the way I hooked up the backside. I didn't really need any front guy. And you can see here, I've got the guy there. And then I actually took and ran. That little black round piece there was supposed to be a midpoint guy, and it broke. So I actually pushed it up to the top and ran an additional piece of paracord back to a tree behind there. And then I used the J-hooks up on the topper to get that sturdied up there. I wouldn't recommend using the 3/4 inch EMT. You can see there's quite a bit of flex in it, and it's bent over quite a bit. Well, not bent over, but it's flexed and has quite a bit of lean to it. It's going to get changed out for next year. You can see on the windows, I've just got PVC pipe again. It's been through drilled, 12 millimeter on the front where the pixel comes through, and I did 20 millimeter on the back, so you had room to get it in. And my way I've got it mounted to the house is it's 3D printed clips that Jason Sis designed, and you can find those on Thingiverse. They were actually, I'm really happy with how well these worked. Did well on that. I also used the same clip here on the front, mounting in my column matrices, and these things really survived the wind really well. I was very impressed at how well they did. You could see them out here just flapping away when the wind was blowing, and they haven't budged at all from that. Up on the upper story, again, the same setup on the windows up there. 3/4 inch PVC through drilled. Same window treatment up there, just the 3/4 inch PVC. And then I've also got the bottom flake is an EFL 24 flake, and the top one is one of the Boscoyo flakes. Got the same thing over on the other side. You can just kind of see the bottom of that EFL one up there. Same thing up in the upper eaves up there. I've got permanent lighting in the J channel all the way across that roof line up there as well. Again, on the garage, I've got PVC outlines on it as well. And then I've got 4 of the EFL 2 foot spinners. These things are great. And then I also have a star up there as well. The trim on the eaves with the J channel, same thing again. And then I've got the same roof line, or sorry, the same window frames up there. So that's pretty much all of the props I had on the house this year. Super happy how it all looked. Now I'll show you how I've got things hooked up. This is my main K32 box. It's where pretty much all of the props on the yard come back to, and also the differential receiver and the ammo can comes back to this one as well. I'm not good with cord management, as you can see. It's just a hodgepodge. I've got a Wise camera for seeing things out front. But this is my K32, or as I like to call it, Blinky Box 01. It's worked out really well for me. I've just got it mounted to some 2x4s and some extra pieces of 2x8 I had laying around, and it's just leaned up against this back column. I think next year I'm going to actually physically mount it to the side of the house somewhere, but I have to do it in a way that is pleasing to the wife, so that'll take a little more thought and work. This is my fire trap waiting to happen. I've got a Zeus Z-Wave plug, and it's actually powering the K32 as well as an extension cord out to the differential receiver box. And this is giving me remote control for power to the K32 and to the differential receiver. So I was able to turn those off and on as needed. Make sure you do a good proper shutdown of your K32 though, before you pull power from it. They're, I wouldn't say notorious, but sometimes doing a cold shutdown on those has unintended consequences and results. And this mess right here is my 2 K8s, and this is pretty much everything that's on the house. Currently it's doing all of the J channel, all of the window frames, all of the spinners on the house, star, snowflakes, everything is coming out of there. Once I get the ladder out, I'll get a closer shot just so you can kind of see. Again, like I said, wire messes, kind of my thing. I'm not good at making it look pretty, at least not this year. It was, at this point, it had become kind of last minute to get things up and going so I could have things running by Thanksgiving, so things got a little messy. So the way I attached most of my stuff on the lawn here is 1/2 inch EMT. I drilled a hole down on the bottom there. You can see I got a 5/16 screw in there. And if I take that screw off, the tree will lift off a piece of rebar that I got stuck in the ground. As for the rebar, oh, it's a long one. 3 feet piece, and I put at least 18 inches into the ground. And that worked really well. Did that for all the props that are out on the lawn. Super, super easy. And I was surprised they didn't twist at all in the wind that I had, the way that I got them set up, which was amazing. I had 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts, sometimes up to 50 this winter, a couple of times. Not terrible, but they survived for the most part, except for my star. The star is just up there with zip ties through some of the Coro, and I don't think I got it tied enough. It kept blowing to the side like that. So every couple of days I'd have to go out and flip it back facing forward. So this is how I mounted props to EMT. I just cut off a little short 2-inch section of PVC pipe and then a EMT mount. And then on the front, a washer through the Coro. And you can kind of see it this way with a nut on the inside there, and the pipe just captured inside the EMT clip. And then I mounted that with the same kind of EMT clips to whatever I was mounting it to. Worked pretty well. It's sad to see everything taken down, well, at least most everything. There's all the low stuff taken off and the big tree taken down.